The next item we want to talk about is going to be managing promise times and what the colors mean. On your work in progress screen, you're going to see jobs or work orders, however you want to refer to them, that are often different colors. The colors will identify a stage or a status of that job. A work order in black font is going to identify that it is at least 1 hour before the promise time, whatever time you've promised this customer they're going to get their vehicle back. A magenta, which is a little hard to see here with the background, I'm sorry for that, means that that job is within 1 hour of its stated promise time, a little bit of a priority. A red work order or job means that the promise time has passed. So let's take a look at how that actually is going to work. If you look at my screen, I'm just going to focus above so you can see the colors. I can easily see by each of the work order or job colors that these two jobs in black font are at least 1 hour before the completion or promise time I made with the customer. The job in the magenta color means that I am within 1 hour, so I've got an hour or less to get this job done in order to meet the completion or promise time with my customer. And you'll look at Chris's job down here. Chris's is red, and what that means is that job is past its completion time. It's been a little while since I've done any consulting work, but I just want to bring something to your attention. We always ask the question on our seminars, what is the #1 consumer complaint in the aftermarket automotive industry? And I'm sure some of you know, but others might be surprised to find out, it's not the price. It's I didn't get my car back when they said I was going to have it back. And if you don't think that's #1, I encourage you to lock your car up in the shop one day and try to get around without it, and you'll see what your customers go through. So these things are very, very important. Let's talk about how we set and monitor the promise times. On any job, you simply highlight it on the left-hand pane of the work in progress screen, and on the right-hand side, you're going to see a summary, just like we said, the workflow stage above, but you're also going to see the schedule time, the promise time. So you're always going to be able to be aware. All we do, since you're probably going to have a whole lot more jobs than what 4 jobs that I have in progress right now, these tools should help you monitor these situations and, of course, be on top of them. So you'll identify by the color the stage of this job or the time, and then you're going to be able to identify what time that job was promised to the customer. To make a change to the promise time, again, you are going to need to edit. I don't know if you guys are noticing I'm double-clicking, but you also have the option to go in and simply do an edit, both the same result, and your promise time will be identified right on the top. In order to change the promise time, all you do is click on it. You can select any date from the calendar. Okay. You can look at a clock, which is going to be broken down into quarters for each of the hours. You can simply type in, or you can monitor by just making changes here if it's just a little bit of a change. So if I call this customer and said I'm going to need a little more time, they say, well, I can give you till 2 o'clock, then I can easily make that change. So today at 2 o'clock is my new promise time. Click on OK. Save and close the work order. Okay, and now you're going to see that job turn black because it is more than 1 hour before its promise time. So these tools are really designed to help you guys stay on top of these work orders through your busy day, and hopefully that'll give you a little bit of information to work on. So remember, from the work in progress screen, you'll be able to view the promise time. In order to make any change to the promise time, you'll need to open up the work order and identify and make a change to the promise time right here. There are other tools, just so that everybody knows, because some people use the work order summary screen. The promise time is also available from the work order menu at top. So just keep in mind there's a couple of ways to get to the promise time. Hopefully that'll help everybody a little bit with organizing and monitoring these jobs and meeting or at least informing your customer if you're not going to make your completion time. So black, magenta, and red. Let's move on to the next screen. A new feature in the software is what we call work order flags. This is a big hit with a lot of people, and I'll just read a little bit of this document. Work order flags appear on the work in progress screen and can identify special conditions for each work order. The name, description, color of the flags are customizable and have a wide array of uses depending on your particular shop needs. Let's actually go take a look at them, and we're going to actually cover two things here. One is going to be how to set up your work order flags. To set up the work order flags, from the home menu, we'll come over and select Setup. I can easily go in here, and I don't know if a lot of people use this tool. I can either do what I call look for the needle in the haystack, which is monitor and look through all these nodes on the left-hand side, or if I know I'm looking for work order flags, I can just type a little bit of the word out and it'll search for whatever I type in. So that might be another benefit for you. The work order flags are fairly new to the software. I think they've been out for a couple of months now. Hopefully you folks are reading your update notes when we do an update to the software, and usually there'll be a little bit of a description in there on this feature. Here you see a series of work order flags that I've created in my database that will help me identify a priority job, a waiting customer. You guys can read off the screen what's there. So the work order flags, and I'll just go up here and select Add and walk you through how to set up a flag if you wanted to do that. You simply give it a name. You'll see the name column on the left-hand side, whatever you type in. Your description will be down the center column, giving a better description of the name. You will have a foreground color, which can be anything you want. You simply click on the drop down and here are your colors, and tell you what, there are more colors in here than I ever knew there were, so you can pick a color off of the list. You're going to also have a background color, and you can pick your background color, and you can see most of my foregrounds are white, backgrounds are in different colors. And then you also have the ability to enter a code. Now on your codes, you can use numbers or you can use letters, but keep in mind it can only accept one character. You can't use more than one character, and you'll see the codes I've used here. You guys can pick whatever code you want. So once this is set up, I'm going to do a cancel on this one. That's going to go into my list of work order flags. Now everybody knows how to set these up. Let's talk about how they are used. And you can almost see from the names and the descriptions, I bet you guys are a little bit of ahead of me here in knowing how this is going to work. So let's spend a minute on this, because I think that it's something that a lot of people will want to take advantage of. For your work order flags, you can add, edit, and remove flags from the work in progress screen. Simply highlight the work order. You'll see the little plus sign up here on the summary screen, and it says there are no flags applied. Just click on the little plus sign, put a check in any of the boxes. You can have one or as many flags as you would like. And then just click in the off ground somewhere. You're going to now see those flags next to the workflow stage icon, and you're going to see it on the summary screen. So again, another tool to keep everybody informed as to what's going on with this work order. So the work order stage identifies the inspection is complete. The flags, just like the icons for the stages, you know, it's going to take a little while to remember those. So if you wonder what the flags mean, you simply hover over and it'll do a little pop-up with your name and description. So each of the flags, if you just hover over until you become aware of what they are, then you can hover over them and identify the stage. Another way you can use the flags is to open up the work order. Okay, if your work order is open, you can change the work order flags from here, again, by simply going to the little green plus box. So wherever you see that little green plus box, you're going to be able to access and of course, change your flags. Any changes that are made will be reflected on the work order task screen on the right-hand side. And of course, if I save and close this work order, okay, then that flag should come back. I must have done something wrong because it didn't come back. So let's open that up again. I've got my stage here. If I close this up, okay, so why isn't the flag showing? Often, another thing everybody will need to remember, if you have more than one terminal in the shop, you may have 2 or 3 service advisors putting these flags on. So another good habit to get into is to do a refresh. So if we do a refresh on the work in progress screen, and it's going to pick up that flag. So remember, in order for your computer screen to pick up changes that have been made on other computers, try and get in the habit of doing a refresh, which is going to refresh everything as it's been changed on any of the other monitors or computers running the software. There's a couple of ways or places that you can put your flags on. So setup for work order flags, well, this is the setup, I'm sorry. I was going to go back in here and see there was something to do with where. Yeah, excuse me, right here, the second point. Work order flags can be applied and viewed from the work in progress screen, and that's what we just showed you, as well as the work order. There is a prioritization screen, and for those of you that don't know about the prioritization screen, I'd encourage you to hop into the help system, type in a search for prioritization, or go to the work order help section and do a little read up on that. That is another one of the webinars that's coming up in the new feature. You're also going to be able to change and view your work order flags from appointments and your scheduler. Let's take a quick look at that right quick. Okay, so if I'm going to go into my scheduler, all right, then I'm going to have the ability to do work order flags here. An example, if I go to today's work and I simply double click on whatever time I want to schedule my appointment for, there's the little green cross. You can put flags on your scheduled appointments. In addition to that, you will be able to see your flags. Now, they show up in very, very small icons here. So if you look at this, they're a little bit tight to see, but it's a tight window. There's a lot of information in here. So your work order flags will also show up on your schedulers, and I'm assuming you guys can see the little colored dots off to the right of each of these scheduled appointments. So just to do a quick review, set up your work order flags under work order setup, work order flags. Let me do this so everybody can see. Okay. If you prefer to look at it from this way, it's under work order setup. It's down at the bottom, work order flags. Do an add, edit, or delete to any flags, name, description, foreground, background, code. And then those flags will be available to be used at the work order, the work in progress screen, the prioritization screen, the scheduler, and your appointments. So hopefully you can take advantage of that. One last note on the work order flags is you will now have the ability to print the flag on most of your documentation, work orders, invoices. If that's something you would like, from setup, you're going to access print documents. I'm going to go to let's go to work orders, and because this is where I see them being fairly important, is on a tech instruction or a tech worksheet. Okay, whichever one you folks want to use. You simply do an edit on that document. On all documents, on the left-hand pane, is an advanced option. Today, our advanced option we're focusing on is this item right here. So do I want to print the work order flags when I print a technician work order? So for this document, when I print that document, it's going to print the flags. Okay, so keep that in mind. Who needs to know about the flags on paper? Most likely the technicians. They'll obviously be able to see them on the work in progress screen, but not everybody sends their text to the work in progress screen. Let's just open this work order up. I'm going to go in here and do a print preview so you guys will be able to see how the flags print. Let's just do a print preview. We're going to, let me just single in here on a tech work order because that's the one I just changed. Okay. Make this a little bit bigger so everybody's going to be able to see it. And I am forgetting exactly where they print.
Just below the promise. Below the promise time.
Just below the promise time. Okay. So here are your flags. So it's not, maybe I explained that wrong. So it not necessarily print the flag, it prints the description of the flag. So if you guys are looking right here, it's printing the description of the flag. So my apologies. It doesn't print the colored flag with the number or letter in it. Better than that, it prints the description of each of the flags. So hopefully that'll be something that you guys can find of use. And there are several documents that offer that print flag, if that's anything you want to look at. Again, just go to your documents, do an edit on any document, go down to advanced options, and you'll see this box wherever the flags are available to be printed on a work order.